In this clip, we're going to paint ambient occlusion on the engine. Again, we're just going to go through these in rapid fire. The engine here will be a little bit trickier than the body was because we've got a lot of little intersections and bolts and pipes. And really, we just want to make sure that we give enough attention to each of these that nothing gets lost in the mix of colors. Down the flow on this a bit. And it'll just be about going through all of these little sections. Switch over to my camera. On the brush alignment, shrink this down a little. And it's worth spending the time on all these little details, because otherwise it's just a flat grayness, but you start to add this in, and it'll really start to pop. Now some of these pieces are duplicated, like I believe these bolts. Oh no, fortunately the bolts are not. This, I believe, is duplicated to the other side, so you'll want to be aware of anything you're painting. I don't think we're seeing the same side, but just something to be aware of. Now, as we get back into the engine here, and this won't be particularly important with the ambient occlusion, more with our shadowing, but I want it to get darker and kind of have a fade into the shadow here. So just keep that in mind as you're painting the ambient occlusion. If you're going to err on it being darker, have it be darker farther in. We will want to definitely add some larger ambient occlusion to these intersections here and places like that. Just anything to tie this whole thing together. Make sure you get around the pipes and stuff. It's a lot of little edges, but it's worth taking the time to hit all these intersections. All right, let's go ahead and skip to the finished AO pass on the engine. All right, as you can see, we've finished the ambient occlusion pass here. A lot of little edge details, and it really brings out the definition, all these little pieces, the bolts, even the larger pieces. Now with something like this, it's still a big flat area of red, but once we get to the edge dirt, that will start to change. Show you the other side here, making sure to get around each of these bolts just to bring that extra bit of definition and give it a lot more dimension. And that's about it for this. All right, in this clip, we painted ambient occlusion on the engine.